Live from our studios in Kingstown, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's your favorite Thursday night show, Up Late with Sehon Marshall. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the host of tonight's show, Sehon Marshall.
And good night. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for staying up late with Sehon Marshall for Thursday, the 19th of February, 2026. It's always a pleasure to be with you in your homes and wherever you are. You might be on a bus somewhere, but you have your device, you're logged on. Thank you so much for joining. Now, as usual, I'm going to give you a few seconds to start to share. So that is what I'm doing right now. I am sharing the link. And please, listen, you don't know how important it is for me to ask you to share the live. Share this program. You're on YouTube, you're logged on. One, copy the link. Go, you'll find share. Copy that link and put it on your Facebook page so that other people can see what you are looking at. Please, that helps the platform to grow, that helps more individuals to find the program. All right, so I'm in the middle of sharing right now. As you know, I'm clumsy with that, so it takes me a while. So I am going to do that now. Well, I'm doing it. And I'm going to give you that time to do it as well. And those of you who are used to sharing, I can't stress enough how important it is for you to share this live every single Thursday night, so that other people could be a part of the thing. All right, so I'm sharing. Yes, I'm sharing. I'm almost done. Just one more. I am almost done. And I think that's it there. Now, I think I have them all covered. Sorry, please excuse me. You might hear me sniffling a little bit. It seems that I have the sniffles, but nothing is going to keep me from doing this program. Only death and maybe severe sickness. I'll tell you something. Since the 4th of December, when I relaunched the program, because we had stopped for a few months during the election campaign, this program has been coming to you every single Thursday night because I really enjoy doing it. And then I just realized today that I've already done about 22 I don't want to call them episodes, but for want of a better word, episodes of Present Please. Already 22. And I'll tell you something. I want to thank everybody who have been supporting me, everyone who has been supporting me on all of the programs, Present Please or Up Late with Sehon Marshall. I mean, the support is tremendous. I never in my wildest dreams thought it would be like this, especially Present Please. I go through town, I walk through almost any community across St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that's how I'm greeted. That little 3-minute thing is really taking over and trending. And I'll tell you this, for some reason, it is triggering a lot of the supporters. They find it, and they just are triggered. Now, one of the things I've noticed is that most of the times, maybe 99% of the times, they do not engage with what I've posted. They come attacking me personally. And that's a few things to me. One of such things is that they really have no answer for what I'm saying. I'm speaking the truth, and that's just it. So in order to try and throw me off, they come and attack me personally. Secondly, I do get the feeling that a lot of them are just low self-esteem individuals who feel that by doing that they can feel better about themselves. But that doesn't bother me one bit. You see, if personal attacks are what they're going to use to try and intimidate me to shut up, they have to try again, because it's not going to stop. And I'm even more focused and committed on bringing this program, Up Late with Sehon Marshall and Present Please, to you. So the thing is, the only how this is going to really have its fullest impact is with your cooperation. You are going to have to subscribe to the channel. You are going to have to like it when it's on. You are going to have to share it when it's on. That's how it would grow. And that's how it will reach more and more individuals. Look, I'll tell you, Facebook data is kind of scratchy, but it's amazing that Present Please those episodes are seeing numbers of 8 and 10 and 12,000 views. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And on YouTube, we are seeing 1,800, 2,000, 2,100. I think the episode with Matt Brantley went to 3,000 views already. So they're really taking off. Now, YouTube has just started, and I do not have, on Facebook, I have over 7,000 friends on Facebook and over 2,000 followers on Uplift with Sehon Marshall. Well, followers, yes. That's a lot. I only have 1,400 subscribers on YouTube. And the thing about it, the important thing is, which I really feel good about, is that a significant percentage of the individuals who view this program on a weekly basis are not subscribed. So that's why I want to encourage you to please subscribe to the platform. And for those of you who have activated membership, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And for others who are thinking about it, think about it some more, but please, I'd really appreciate it if you can activate your membership. All right, activate that membership so that you can support this program. There are no sponsors, and so the only way I'd get support is if you, those of you who are seeing it, who are viewing it every week, enjoy it and decide that you would want to support this program. TikTok has been well. I also post Present Please on TikTok, and I'm really surprised with the way it has taken off as well. Again, I barely had just 900 and something followers or friends, whatever you want to call them, followers on TikTok before I started doing Present Please. Since Present Please, hey, this is the important thing. And I'm going to share this with you, right? Since Present Please, and I said I've done about 22 or so programs, started around the 21st or the 22nd of January. And I do it Monday to Friday. But within that 28 days, I've had almost 1,000 followers on my personal Facebook account. I've had over 300 new followers on YouTube, or subscribers on YouTube. I've had over 200 new followers on TikTok. So the Present Please is really helping to grow all of the platforms that I'm on, and that is helping me to reach and engage even more individuals. So I really got to thank you for that, and encourage you to continue to subscribe. Please subscribe, and please like it and share. Just click the like button and click the share button. Copy the link, put it on your Facebook page, put it on your WhatsApp status. Just share it, so that individuals can be a part of what we're doing here. All right, wonderful. Now, so I see some individuals on. Good night to those of you who have come on and you have said good night. Thank you so much for that. All right. So now I am going to just monitor a few things on the tube there. Yeah, let's just monitor it on the tube there so that yes. So I know how we're looking. All right, good stuff. Let's go to Parliament. And I know some of you looked at the Parliament and you must have been, some of you might have been a little disappointed. Some of you might have been disgusted. I'm somewhere in between. I was extremely disappointed in the attitude of some individuals who I know personally. Disrespect, that was disgusting. But I'll be honest and upfront with you and tell you it wasn't surprising, because I want you to remember the behavior of those same individuals when they were in opposition. Rochelle Ford, the former Speaker of the House, is probably one of the most patient individuals I know. Because at times, I realized it became extremely difficult for Rochelle, as Speaker of the House, to carry out her functions with the level of disrespect and just the complete, utter refusal to follow basic rules within the House. Now, I'll digress a little bit and say this. I made a post, Present Please, this week, speaking about the attitude of our young boys and the gangs. And in doing that, a good friend of mine who lives overseas reached out to me. person said, Sehon, I just watched President Please. And I agree with everything you said. But there's something that you didn't touch. There's something that is missing. So I asked, what are you talking about? He said, leadership by example. And he pointed me to some of the things that occurred in the House. He said, when the leaders of this country, the policymakers in this country, engage in such wanton disrespect and disregard for rules, what do we expect of the little boys, the children who are looking on? And I thought about that for a moment. And I'm going to show you a bunch of clips tonight, so I hope I get to show you them. To show you that our parliament has become a laughingstock and a mockery. While the NDP was in opposition, they tried all sorts of stunts to turn our parliament into a mockery. But thankfully, we had some very strong speakers of the House who were able to insist on the following of rules in the face of the most aggressive and disrespectful behavior from people like Sinclair Leacock, who's now Minister of National Security. What a contradiction, eh? Daniel Cummins and others. You can go back years ago when the speaker, then Hendrik Alexander, had to name them and ask them to leave. And they refused to leave and had to be escorted by police officers. We know that story well, and we know the drama and so on that they carried on with. No, people watching that would go, but if you were named and you were asked to leave, you follow the rule. Why do you want to create a confrontation in the House with police officers? So when you see videos of individuals fighting police officers, remember that even in the parliament, the NDP sought to do that. Remember when they tried to protest at the cruise ship board? When Daniel Cummins in government now got involved in a physical altercation with a police officer? These are the leaders, you know. These are the leaders. No, the government, no. I want you to go back a little bit, you know, to the attitudes in parliament then. And one of the points that individuals have been making, and it's so true, is that they still are behaving as if they're in opposition. I listened to some of the parliament, not a whole lot. And I tell you, normally in parliaments, I've watched parliaments. I was living in England for 15 months. I used to watch PMQs and some debates in parliament and so on. I watch our parliament a lot. I watch other parliaments off and on. And generally speaking, you can tell me if you disagree or if you have a different view. President, please, Ken Bacchus. Ken Bacchus says, President, please. Generally in parliaments, it is the opposition team or the opposition side that would interrupt and initiate crosstalk and raise the points of order, because the government team, they have the majority, they have the time, you know, so they can elucidate and pampas it all they want. And so very often to get things in, it's the opposition that would engage in the crosstalk and try to throw the government off their feet. For the first time in my experience, the government is engaging in all the crosstalk and all the interruptions. And you heard during the parliament, Dr. Gonzalez, leader of the opposition, Senator Carlos James, making the point, I listened to them in silence. I didn't interrupt a soul. But what we have now is the reverse feature, where every 2 seconds, the opposition feel, the government, feels, I'll say opposition because they're acting like it, that they must interrupt the members on the opposition side. And very often their interruptions are just frivolous and without merit. Which brings me to the real point. You see, in the House of Assembly, in the Parliament, the Speaker of the House is the one who presides over the sitting. Yes, you were elected by the members of the government side. They nominated you, they elected you. But as much as possible, the expectation is that you would oversee the sitting of the House in as fair a manner as possible. Now, mind you, of course there'll be biases. Of course. I mean, let's not fool with fact. The speakers of the House are usually members of the ruling party, the majority party. So after John Thompson did beat Olin Denny, NDP appointed Olin Denny, right? Before that, I think it was Monty Mall, right? After Ralph beat Nolly, they appointed Nolly. You know what I mean? Hendrik Alexander, who was a senator under the old Labour Party, he was there fighting 15 years. After Jomo lost his election, he was appointed. Rochelle Ford, who was a senator earlier clock in the ULP administration, she was appointed after 2020. So there is usually some association with the majority party and the person who's appointed speaker. The current speaker, the Honorable Speaker Rania Balcom, she, I believe, was the General Secretary of the NDP and head of the Women's Arm, President of the Women's Arm. I may be wrong with the Secretary General thing. I think that might have been Smith, but definitely Women's Arm President. So she is a member, functioning member of the party. So to expect that she'll be removed up from bias is, just unreal. But oh God, man. Now, the Speaker of the House has unilaterally decided that apparently, as long as she's the Speaker, she's going to dispense with anything to do with partiality and observe the proper rulings in the House. She doesn't start early. Listen, it's like football. Within the first 10 minutes of a football game, you kind of get an indication of whether the referee is going to allow things to slide or the referee is going to blow for every little thing. You get that early. Well, the Honourable Speaker, Donley Dongshi Marker, listen, anything goes in this parliament as long as it's NDP. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And it's my interpretation of what I've seen so far. And thankfully she and the here to tell me what my interpretation should be. Because clearly, she's policing interpretation as well in the House. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. But very early, Mrs. Balcom, the Speaker of the House, has indicated how she's going to referee this thing here. Listen, the whistle will only blow when the NDP is supposed to get a foul. Expect penalty to be given and that kind of thing in this match here, because this referee don't show how she will referee. And I will show you the first example. And I want you to understand the seriousness of the blunder by the Speaker and the direction she's already showing you that the House is going. I want to show you this first clip. This first clip includes a point of order that was raised or made. Well, first of all, Dr. Gonzalez asked to give way, and it was given way, and then it turned into a point of order. But let's give you an idea of. Let you see for yourself.
If my honourable friend will give way, if not, I will raise it as a point of order. Madam Speaker,
I understand she's giving way. Yes, please.
I'm obliged. I draw attention to Rules of Debate 33(9). A member shall not read his speech, but he may read extracts from books or papers in support of his argument, and may refresh his memory by reference to notes, provided a minister may, with the permission of the Speaker, deliver a written address to the House. As I understand the latter part. That's not in the normal debate. That is if a minister is making a ministerial statement, for instance, but in the course of a normal debate, that one expects that and particularly in the budget debate, the Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, can read his speech because that is provided for. But all other ministers are to make their presentation without reading a speech.
Now, that's a clear rule. Rule 33.9. And the Prime Minister read the rule to the Speaker. I remember back in the last administration, when the young senators would come in, Ashel, Benava, Shakel, I remember vividly members of the opposition rising on that point of order that they should not be reading their speech because that's what the rule says. You ain't supposed to read your speech. That's a rule, that's clear. And so the expectation from a speaker who's serious about the business of the House would be to allow the member, listen, member, you're reading, and based on the rules, you're not supposed to read. That's clear. I mean, I have a 6-year-old, and if my 6-year-old was the speaker, I am sure, just basic common sense go tell me that you could say, yeah, you can't read. You can't read. The rules say can't read, so stop it. Daddy, you're not supposed to read, Daddy. So, that's the expectation. Let's hear the speaker. Because the speaker ruled.
Honorable members, please. Honorable members, please. On the point of order, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, it is overruled. I will permit her to read.
You have given permission.
Yes, please.
Did you hear somebody actually say thank you? You actually heard somebody say thank you? I don't know who it was. I know it sounds like, but I don't know who it was. The speaker says, listen, I am overruling your objection and I'm going to allow her to continue to break the rule. If that ain't mockery, tell me what is. The speaker says, I hear your objection, I hear your point of order, and you're pointing out rules. Rules. We talk about rules. Listen, sit down. I am going to allow her to continue to break the rule. I'm not going to allow her that she's infringing the rule. I'm not going to encourage her to do better. Nope. I am going to encourage her and allow her and permit her to break the rule. You see how law and order does break down? So tomorrow, in a house sitting, if Carlos decides to go and read, is that speaker going to rule that Carlos is infringing the standing orders of the House? 33.9. But the referee indicate only how they're going to carry the match. So at this point, I guess you could say, boy, the game could only go one way, because even when you ain't foul them, the referee going to blow. And when they foul, the referee is not going to blow. The referee is going to allow them to foul. This is the Speaker of the House. This Speaker has an opportunity to set down a marker and be in the same standing and respect and integrity of Rochelle Ford, who we just had. And I'm saying Rochelle because she's the last one. And I think most individuals, regardless to which side they're on, would agree that the last Speaker of the House did a fantastic job. A fantastic job. But this one, we know how the whistle will blow. Well, it gets worse. Now you see how quick she ruled on that. And she ruled what you would call in the ultra virus of the rules, because you ain't supposed to read. Provisions are made for certain things to be read, but you're supposed to come in the house and debate. Now, this is not in any way any aspersion on my sister Lavon, because I believe she has the capacity to debate. She went on platform, she spoke off the cuff. I believe she could debate. She first one. So it's not about Lavon. It's the responsibility of the speaker to alert the minister and the representative for Eastern George that she's infringing the rules. And she needs to try and debate and not read. And for those of you who saw the debate, quite a few of them were reading. It wasn't just that minister. Quite a few of them read. Quite a few of them read. But it gets worse. Now if you just log on, share, please, share the live, share it. It gets worse. This time, the Senator Carlos James was making a point. Senator Carlos James was making a point from the presentation of the Prime Minister. So I listen to this one.
What I understand now from the budget, this 2026 budget, is that people across St. Vincent and the Grenadines who want to have their house repaired will now have to go and apply for a loan from a development bank, because it is stated here, Madam Speaker, that there's a rehabilitation program to facilitate loans to persons. While under ULP government, every single Vincentian, no matter your creed, your class, your race, your color, or affiliation, you're afforded the ability of getting not just the materials. We paid the contractors to come to your houses and repaid for these rehabilitation programs to come.
Point of order, please, Madam Speaker.
Income habla español. Income Spanish radio. Habla español. Habla español, Richie. So let me habla español. El Spanish on radio. Continue. Let's say the point of order.
Honorable Senator, point of order. Yes, Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member has a duty not to mislead this Honourable House. And he is profoundly misleading this Honourable House when he says that in the budget address, it was said that the Development Bank is designed to provide loans to rehabilitate housing.
So il Spanisho el mundo. Telemundo continue. Point of order. Same thing is to the opposition. Every minute, you jump up. You jump up. The same one who going give farmers devices to watch the field for the livestock. They go and put camera up in coconut tree and going to see the tree. And they go and walk off satellite and waiting them from Elon Musk now, eating now. Anyhow, yeah. So you going this Telemundo go and give farmers camera to put in green cedar tree, and they go home and they go watch on their cell phone to make sure nobody not tip their sheep. You are coming in your house and people are breaking your house, but smarty Telemundo go and put camera in green cedar tree in the mountain for watch people's sheep. But anyhow, so he decides that he's going to raise a point of order that the Senator, Carlos James, is misleading the House. He's grossly misleading the House. Now, misleading the House means that he's saying something that is not true. He's saying something that is not true. But Carlos makes a point later on, because the Minister of Agriculture is so intent on proving a point. I don't know. I don't know if it's a self-esteem issue. I don't know if it's he was bullied when he was young. I don't know. But he always has to prove a point. That I know more than you. I could get a one upon you. You understand what I'm saying? So he comes back later because the minister, the senator, Carlos James, merely quoted, read, word for word, what is in the document. The speech of the Prime Minister. So Telemundo comes back, Spanish station, comes back and makes this point of order. Because he's still on a point of order. He's still on a point of order. He's still on a point of order. Because he's not satisfied. Carlos is saying, listen, I'm misleading the house and I'm going to stop. And you should see wiggle and jiggle and twist and turn for the speaker. What is he? Are you sure? Because he's saying, listen, rule on the point of order. But listen, when Telemundo comes back with the point of order.
Point of order again.
Madam Speaker, I did very clearly explain that my honorable friend was misleading this honorable House when he sought to inform this House and the public that persons who suffered the consequence of hurricane damage, that the development bank envelope was to facilitate them rehabilitating their houses. That is not the position in the debate, in the budget speech. And he knows. I am not saying that he has not read from the budget speech correctly. That is correct. But he has misled the House, and he should say, look, I have been misleading, and this is the correct position.
Okay, Honorable Senator, you have heard. I would rely on the Honorable Prime Minister to clarify that point that you would have raised at a later, during his further address.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Please proceed.
Because, Madam Speaker,
you're proceeding now, right?
Thank you.
Okay,
I don't know how much clearer you can be in words. A National Housing Recovery and Resilience Fund. What are you recovering from? Housing recovery. Housing recovery. Local loans from a National Development Bank. Let us be real with what we're saying to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, madam.
So, you hear the course talk. I hear Phillips Junior Minister, who apparently is usurping Phillips' authority, but that's another story. And they're saying, a fund, and they're talking. But Telemundo gets up and makes the point, I am not saying that he's not reading correctly. Hold on. Let me get this straight. The senator reads from the speech of the Prime Minister. He reads correctly. He explains what he reads. But you write on a point of order that he's leading. He's misleading the House. There's a development bank. In the development bank, there's a fund for recovery and resilience of people with housing. Recovery? What do you mean recovery? Everybody know what recovery means. You've been sick, you recover. You have damage, you recover. Damage from what? Resilience. Those things are, when you hear things like resilience and recovery, those things are synonymous with what? Extreme events, weather events, disasters. Now, I don't know how many of you watched it, but the speaker was even pointing the senator to his interpretation. So now she is responsible for governing interpretation. Now, in this case, this was a clear case where she should have overruled that point of order and say, man, sit down. Excuse me. Especially since you came back and said he is reading correctly. So what is your point of order then? But nah, she ruled. She said, you know what? Okay, here what? I'm going to give somebody else a bite of the cherry. You fail, so I'm going to allow the Prime Minister because she's telling them, she's helping them with strategy. Listen, we'll sit down. When Friday comes, he will explain it better. No, I have heard, for example, during the previous parliament, where the speaker himself, like Camilo, would get up and address something, and he would say, "I'd address it more fulsomely in my wrap-up." I have never heard Rochelle, I could call she that is my friend, tell one minister, or the finance minister, or the prime minister, following a point of order from a different minister, that listen, you need to help him. When you're wrapping up, please help him. Help him clean up, please. I've never heard that in my life. But Madam Speaker apparently realizes, boy, the more Bruce dig, the deeper you go. So Bruce, let me throw you a lifeline. Sit down. I wouldn't overrule, because my job is not to overrule you guys. You guys have full bandwidth to do whatever you want to do, so I can't overrule you. And I need to be the speaker. I like the work as the speaker, so I can't overrule you. So here's what. I'll throw you a lifeline. Sit down, but when Friday come, he go explain it. He go explain it better. Well, all Friday will do is repeat what he said in his budget speech, that there's a fund in the development bank, and that fund is to people who got damaged in storm and so on, where they could get a loan. Labour was giving you free house. From 2013 flood, people in Spring Village and Rose Bank and Sharps and so forth got free homes. This government, this same government, this NDP government that was there for 17 years and built no homes, is telling you, we're not in the business of building homes for poor people. We are not in the business of building homes for people who have been affected by storms and other things. What you will do is give you money to borrow at a cheaper interest rate. Well, loans are already what, 6%? Depending on the bank, you go 5 point some percent. Well, that's all they vote for. But again, while she was willing to rule and overrule quickly the point of order raised by the leader of the opposition regarding to a clear violation of the rule, she can't rule on this one here. She can't rule. I will rely on Friday to help me out when he come to talk. Hey, I don't see how this match going play. You don't see how this match going play. Full latitude for the 14 people. Tight rain for the 1 people. A mockery of parliament procedure and the overseeing of the sitting of the House of Assembly and Civil Grindings. A complete and utter mockery. But if you think that was bad, let's go further. And I'm going to give this one much introduction. I just going to play it and let you listen.
Speak about the devil.
Welcome, Honorable Leader of the Opposition. Please proceed, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister.
State the point of order.
Well,
is it a point of order, Honorable?
Well, I wasn't going to state a point of order, but if he wishes me to speak to the point of order.
Yes, because other than that, he would not give way.
Fine.
Honorable Minister, please.
Honorable Speaker, it is evident upon my arrival that my honorable friend the Minister of National Security announced that speak about the devil. I'm sure that in your reading that you would say that that is not parliamentary language to refer to someone. I'm sure you would say that. And I think he would wish to do a mea culpa and say, really, I'm sorry about that, and move on. I don't want to. I don't want to take him out of his stride.
Speak about the devil. And that was funny. The Christians, my good friend Jamali John, disappointed. Lavon King, another Seventh-day Adventist Christian, found it funny. Even the speaker, based on the way she spoke, it's indicative. It sounds as if she also found that funny. She found it funny. Referring to someone else as the devil. And listen to me. This is the type of narrative and language and so forth that they've been using to characterize Dr. Gonzalez and by extension his family for 25 years, you know. They normalized this type of reference. They normalized it. So I could call Ralph the devil. And that's funny. People like Jamali Jan, Chelsea and Lavon and so on, all who benefited from the education policies and others, found it funny that someone was just served the country for 25 years as Prime Minister and put the country on a growth path. Put this country on a trajectory where we are soaring past others in terms of our human development. They found it funny that a reference was made that is the devil. Speak about the devil. Now, do you remember the speaker when Dr. Gonzalez, during the estimate, talked about the Spanish station? Oh, she was ready to cut in. That's unparliamentary and insulting because Telemundo say he felt insulted by it. In this case, this is a clear violation of that rule that speaks to unparliamentary language. And the speaker should not have hesitated in addressing that matter immediately. You see, when you address Dr. Gonzalez in those ways, that's the reason why they must see, I don't know, because he's the devil. That is the reason why in going to Parliament, they must see him, because he's the devil. And it's normal. It's normal. Members of Parliament banged the desk and laughed, and even the speaker thought it was funny. With the reference of the devil to a man who has given 25 years unbroken service as Prime Minister, as leader of this country. That is something that any speaker worth the salt, a speaker with an ounce of integrity, would immediately go, no, that's taking it a bit too far. But I'll show you how this turns out. Because she then turns to Leacock, the badger in Parliament. Okay, bad now, you know. Bad now. He was bad when he was in opposition. He bad now. And he could do all that. He could do anything he want to do. And he gives him an opportunity. He's given an opportunity to address it. She didn't rule again, you know. Notice she didn't rule, you know. She didn't rule. Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, I believe you've taken that a bit too far, and that is something that is outside of the rules of the House, and I think you should withdraw it. Trust me, I think you'd come out of that situation with more credibility. But I mean, mind you, the NDP base will love you. The NDP base will love you. And if you're fine with that, then okay. If you're fine with that, then that's fine. Because the NDP base will lap it up. Well, at least the more extreme ones. The more extreme part of it. But listen to how she addresses it. Listen to how she addresses it.
Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, there is some merit in his argument that the comment, it's an epithet. And
well, we've been here before, Madam Speaker, and in due respect to you, since we have seen this movie before, I'll complete it. Even if the Honorable Leader of the Opposition looks like the devil, behaves like the devil, and provokes like the devil, I will not call him the devil.
So he doubles down. She says, there may be some merit. So she's not sure to his argument. It's not an argument, it's a point of order. He's using unparliamentary language. It's not about having some merit to an argument. It's about recognizing that Leacock, the Minister of National Security, is using unparliamentary language, an insulting language, referring to the Honourable Leader of the Opposition as the devil. Well, he doubles down and he carries the insult even further. He says Ralph looks like the devil and acts like the devil. A man who built an international for this airport acts like the devil. A man who ensured that thousands of poor people, children, go to university. Thousands through the policies of his government. Acts like the devil. A man who ensured that hundreds, if not thousands of Vincentians got their house repaired or replaced for free. Acts like the devil. The only government in this country that gave poor people lands at 10 cents and 50 cents per square foot. Acts like the devil. And they beat the chair and laugh. Because that's normal. So she doesn't rule. She concedes that, well, he may have an argument, there's some merit because it may be a little insulting. So, she said clarification. Leacock says, let me continue. At which point, respectfully, Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, let's not do that. Let's just withdraw it and move on. She couldn't muster the strength of character to do that. She couldn't muster the courage to do that. Because in her mind, she's still the president of the woman's arm. Okay. Still the president of the woman's arm. Now, remember I mentioned Rochelle before? Because, as Leacock said, they've seen the move before. And he had tried that in the last parliament with Rochelle as speaker. And I remember Rochelle made the point, the children are watching. And that was what my friend who called mentioned. He said, I remember vividly, in the last parliament, he had done that to Dr. Gonzalez as Prime Minister. And the speaker addressed it and said, we have to keep our decorum because the children are watching. This current speaker didn't have the presence of mind to address it in that manner. It's funny. And Ralph is the devil. And he looks like the devil. And he provokes like the devil. And it's funny. And the children are watching. And the young men are watching. The boys that he's trying to get out of gang. But remember, he's the one that used to tell people who can't come away and who can't come Kingston Park and all kind of thing, you know. He's the man who used to tell you that people come up to you to buy bullet, you know. Ask you for money for buy bullet, you know. How well you remember that now? He's the man who said that people would come to him to ask for money for buy bullet, you know. Nobody would come to me, Sehon Marshall, and ask for money to buy a bullet. Because they know I ain't them kind of thing there. They know. And they might come and ask for $50. And I'll give them if I have it. But I can promise you that there is not a soul alive. Even for something as some people might say benign, as a little marijuana. If a man wants to buy a spliff, and he want $5, how much of a spliff costs, I don't know, because I never smoked it in my life. He might come and say, so Marshall, buy a spliff, give me now. Give me $5 for a spliff. Never. He might come and say, give me $5 or $10. But he'd never come and tell me, because he knows. They know what I am associated with, and they would not associate me with that, because they know that. And so nobody, not a single soul. I have friends all across this country. I have friends who may be involved in different types. I don't know what they're involved in, because they ain't going to come and approach me with them thing there. So the fact that he admits that people can approach him for money to buy bullet. Makes me question, why you? I hope I'm forgetting them thing there now. That's the Minister of National Security now, you know. That's the Minister of National Security now. Nobody will come to me for buying a bullet. As a matter of fact, I remember as a young boy living in Chateaubriand on Barracks Hill. I used to teach. And I go home. And I go change my clothes and I go dip on the porch and I go see some guys out on the block by the hill there. So I say, we go out and line with them boys. And I'm telling you this, with the Lord as my witness. When I go there, anybody who's smoking the weed, we're out it. Sorry, Mr. Marshall, when they go out the weed. Or they go move and smoke the weed. And this sort that has been respectful to me. Because Mr. Marshall ain't involved in them thing there. You think it's bullet you come and tell him about the war by? But our current Minister of National Security bragged publicly that people come to him for $50 to buy a bullet. You would think that because you're a member of Parliament, the last thing anybody would want to do is give an indication to you that they are gone, because you might report me to the police. The fact that they're so comfortable says a lot. But I didn't study none of them thing there because I was too busy hating Ralph the devil. Because they tell all you that Ralph is the devil. I didn't study none of them thing there. Now, we are gangs beating up people in KFC and all kind of thing. And he is the one who probably go talk. The man who says that people come to him for money to buy a bullet. So he doubles down. He's the Minister of National Security. But I tell him something. There are two titles that Ralph has had. And he would love to get one of them. Ralph was opposition leader once and he's opposition leader again. He couldn't make it as opposition leader. He was skipped over twice for the leadership of the party in opposition. Oh Lord, if they skip over you twice as leader of the party in opposition, you think you will get in government? No, I mean, you've been auditioning brilliantly. But seriously, if we're in opposition and they skip over you as leader, is government doing you? Leader? Like, dude. But keep auditioning. But you might be asking yourself, how did the speaker rule on that matter? You would not believe that that situation was turned around to the point where Dr. Gonzalez, leader of the opposition, was the one who was being warned and chided and threatened by the speaker. Let's see how it ends.
Continuing that conduct, you may not be back here.
Well, Madam Speaker,
no, we will not be having a back and forth.
With great respect. With
the greatest respect, Honourable Leader of the Opposition, I'd like to make my ruling now on your issue that you raised earlier.
May I say something about the latter question, Madam Speaker?
I don't think we need to revisit that at the moment.
But just to say, the only people who can stop me from coming here are the people of North Central.
With that being said, Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, please proceed with your presentation.
No ruling. No ruling. No ruling. The Speaker of the House threatens to prevent the elected member of Parliament for North Central with that conduct, because PM say, this is a joke, I'm walking out. Well, sorry, not PM, comrade. Say, I'm walking, this is a joke. If a man could get on with this kind of thing here, he made the insulting comment. I raised the point of order. You gave him a chance to think. He doubled down on the insulting comment, and I become the issue. There's a joke. You wouldn't even rule on that. You wouldn't even rule on that. Something as clear as that. You wouldn't even rule on that. You notice the one ruling she gave? The ruling against leader of the opposition, who has been in Parliament for over 30 years and knows that you're not supposed to read, she overrules that and says, listen, I'll give her permission to break the rules. She couldn't rule on the matter where Telemundo embarrassed himself. And on the matter where the Bajan again is infringing the rules, she didn't rule either. Now, I don't know what Jomo thought of that presentation. He probably loved it. I don't know. I don't know what he thought. I don't know what Hendrik thought of that presentation. I don't think Hendrik would be too complimentary of that presentation. And if I know Rochelle well, and I feel she's okay enough, she might have vomited. She might have held her stomach, rushed into a bathroom and vomited. In light of that type of presiding over the House of Assembly in this country. But that's what we have now. So she threatens Dr. Gonzalez with expulsion from the House. I know she'll get that one day. But in the meantime, Leacock can continue insulting the leader of the opposition. A title he never held and would probably never hold. And the former Prime Minister, a title he has never held and would probably never hold. So boss, anyhow we take it, Ralph, have it upon you. You're in government now, he's in opposition. But he's been in offices that you will never hold. And this is not about Ralph, by the way. It's not about Dr. Gonzalez, because he could handle himself, and so individuals might think, oh, you come and no. You see, let me tell you something. Dr. Gonzalez has given tremendous service to this country. We lost the elections, and there's a lot of discussions here and there about why we lost and so on and so forth. And that's okay. But what I would not do is disrespect the legacy of a man who has brought St. Vincent and the Grenadines leaps and bounds. I can't do it. I can't do it. And even as he makes way for new leadership, as he has to, it's inevitable. We ain't going to trample him. We ain't going to disrespect him. And I will extend to him all of the courtesies with the respect deserving of a former Prime Minister, of a man who gives service to this country. And when the time comes for new leadership to be ushered in, or when the time comes that new leadership is ushered in, I will support the leadership of the party. Always keeping in mind the service that Ralph has given to Labour and to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So this isn't about Ralph. Sure, I completely and utterly reject and condemned the disrespect. But more importantly, I am exposing the way the referee in the House of Assembly has already announced, indicated how she's going to referee this match for the next 5 years. I don't know if you all paid attention, but I did. It's early days yet, and so the referee can change course and be more of a referee, understanding that at the end of the day, people are looking, children are looking, rules are there for a purpose and they must be followed. And in order for us to have a smooth, orderly sitting in the House, the individual responsible for enforcing the rules of the House, the standing orders of the House, is you, Honorable Speaker Malcolm. Do it. You go have your biases. I completely understand that. Completely. I'm giving you that leeway. But what you did during the budget, sickening. Absolutely sickening and disgraceful. Do better. Do better. And with that, I want to thank you for being a part of tonight's program. Again, let me encourage you to share this program, share it on your WhatsApp status, share it on your Facebook. Just click the link and put it on your WhatsApp status, put it on your Facebook page, put it, on your Instagram post, share it. Like this broadcast tonight so that it can spread and grow and go. For those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much. For those of you who have activated membership, again, thank you so much. And those who are considering the activation of membership, listen, look sharp. Look sharp. I hide it. Look sharp. We want the activation. Yeah. And help this program to grow. And let me say this one more thing. I started, I'm going to end this way. I am doing this because I love it. I am doing this because I enjoy it. And no one is going to intimidate me to shut up. None. I've had all sorts, and they won't work. You see, I have one focus and singular goal. And as I scream 14-1, my singular focus and goal is to ensure, do my very best for an outcome that sees 14 elected members for the first time in the history of this country serve in a one-term government. 14-1. And with that, God bless you and good night.